Well, good morning, everyone, and good morning, students, class of 2009-2010. You guys have worked so hard to reach this point, and I certainly congratulate you all and salute you all as you begin your own journey. You know, everyone's looking at me saying, man, you must be crazy and wanting to fly around the world solo by yourself over 30,000 miles. But in reality, you all have your own journeys to partake and begin. You know, the past 4 or 5 years, or however many years for some of you all, you've been reading books and going through different formats and templates. And now you've reached a point where you're writing your own book, your own journey. One where you don't have whiteout available, one where you don't have an eraser. One where you only have to move forward to the next page in the next chapter of your life. And as I was able to accomplish so many great things at such a young age, being the first black person and the youngest person ever to fly solo around the world, there are a lot of things I learned very early on about life. You see, before I became Barrington Irving on CNN and the Today Show and New York Times and so forth, I had to pay my dues, the same way you all have paid your dues. And I remember all those moments while in college and working hard and not being able to afford certain things and driving around in my car and running around to meetings in my broke down car where I have one hand out the window so air conditioning could flow through one armpit and through the other armpit. But I did whatever it took in order to get it done. And I encourage you all to be patient and to also pay your dues. It's very important for you all to understand that when you work hard, when you pay your dues, when you excel at what you need to do, then opportunities begin to present itself forth. I also encourage you all to become resourceful and creative. When I wanted to fly around the world, the first thing I needed was an airplane. The airplane I flew around the world cost $650,000. How was the inner city kid able to afford a $650,000 airplane? Especially when I couldn't rent one, lease one, or even borrow one. I had to become creative. Here I am, an aviation student, never took any marketing classes, business classes, or whatever the case may be. And I decided to drive all the way from Miami to Mobile, Alabama in a rental car with just enough money to put gas in the car and enough money to buy a 12-inch sub, 6 inches for the first half of the day and 6 inches for the second half of the day. Showed up in Mobile, Alabama to one of the top engine manufacturers in aviation. And I showed up on that Monday morning with a nice suit on, and I said to him, here's the creative side, I said to him, I want to see if your engine is good enough for my airplane. I didn't even own an airplane. So they fell for it and gave me a tour and everything and showed me, you know, why I should select their engine and so forth. And I then did some research and I said, is Brian here? And Brian is the president of the company. They said, oh, you know Brian? I said, yeah, I know Brian. I met Brian a couple times at the aviation shows and so forth. Never met the guy in my life. But I had to become resourceful. After meeting Brian, Brian walks in, he said, he immediately realized I tricked his whole staff. He said, you got 5 minutes, shoot. And in those 5 minutes, I was honest with him. Told him who I was, where I'm from, and what I was trying to do, and why I was trying to do it. And I drove all the way back to Miami. Got a phone call a couple weeks later. Brian says, you know, normally we don't do this kind of thing, but if you're willing to come and find me here in Mobile, Alabama, I believe you can find yourself around the world. And he gave me an engine worth $83,000, just like that. From that one engine, I was able to get the cockpit system, $70,000, and get other parts for the airplane, and was able to finance the rest of the airplane, cut the cost of it in half, and able to fly around the world. When I decided to leave and fly around the world, I learned a very important lesson on March 23rd, 2007. Because it was the funniest thing ever to me. I had about 4,000 or 5,000 people show up. CNN interviewed me, Today's Show, and so forth. You know how much money I had in my pocket? Here I am, Captain Barrington Irving, and people have banners and signs and says, "Go Barrington, go, go Barrington, go." I only had 3 $10 bills in my pocket. And I'm saying to myself, where's Barrington going? Because he only has $30 in his pocket. But see, I learned a valuable lesson that day. It's the same lesson you all will have to learn over time. See, young people, sometimes you can't see what's behind the curtain. But you know your dream is somewhere back there. Sometimes everything won't be in order or in place for you to move forward. But you have to make that first step. And this is part of that first step as you all begin your own journey. And in making that first step, you have to be prepared. You have to be resourceful. Everyone you come across in life can be a potential resource for you. Broward College is a resource for you. And you have to be able to be resourceful, especially in this economy. Now, after going through that phase, and here I am leaving and departing to fly around the world, I had a few issues. One, I couldn't swim. I know everyone's like, you're born in Jamaica, you lived in Miami, you don't know how to swim. Yeah, that's right, I can't swim. 2, I had no weather radar in my airplane. And 3, I had to figure out how was I going to be able to do this. But see, in life, I took it one step at a time. I wasn't worried about flying over China and Japan when all I had to do was just fly over Spain or Italy or Greece or Egypt. One step at a time, with intense focus on the priority and the goal at hand. I've had many challenges when I flew around the world. Many times where I should have lost my life. And I want to leave you guys with this because as I was flying over Vietnam, I had mountains underneath me at 9,100 feet. I'm humming along at about 17,000 feet. Next thing you know, I had to fly through a thunderstorm. And while flying through the storm, within the blink of an eye, I went from 17,000 feet to 9,200 feet in the blink of an eye. I almost smacked myself into the side of a mountain. And when that happened, I said to myself, I remember it clear to this day. I added full power to the airplane to try to outclimb it. And I said, I am not going to die today. Young people, as you all go on your different journeys through life, you have to say to yourself, when you come across these challenges in these mountains, I am not going to die today. I am not going to give up on my dream today. And it wasn't easy because, trust me, after I went through that experience, I needed a good pair of Pampers after going through something like that. But I was able to overcome it. After I flew around the world, we had over 600,000 kids blogging on the website and so many students wanting to learn more and get more information. Even then, I learned how important it was to give back. I run my own nonprofit foundation. I also run it in partnership with Broward College, where I'll be working with students in the summer. It's important to give back. Don't wait until you get older in life. Do it now. You don't know who you'll impact. You don't know who will be watching you. Boils down to giving back. Because someone gave to me. After I flew around the world and was successful and received all these accolades from Congress to international conventions and so forth, many people who told me, no, Barrington, there's no way you'll be able to do it, and for 2.5 years rejected me, turned around and wanted to give me opportunities, various business opportunities and so forth. You never know where you'll end up 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. But it's important for you all to realize that it requires focus, patience, hard work, and determination. Flying around the world is not an easy feat. Youngest person before me was 37 years of age, and I was able to do it at 23. Didn't just break a record, shattered it. And you all have the same opportunity to not just break whatever record it is in your life, but shatter it. Class of 2009, 2010, I congratulate you all and wish you the best on your journeys. Take care.